Hello everyone, my name is Zoeb Ahmed Khan and today's topic will be gasification. Gasification, as we know, is one of the thermal conversion technologies just like incineration, but the only difference will be is that in incineration we have seen the decomposition of material or using solid waste energy into some useful forms such as electricity with the help of heat. We are using heat as the medium to basically burn the material and to basically generate steam, and which is turning the which will be utilizing it in electricity. But in gasification, we will see that it is not a thermal process; it will be a thermochemical process. Means that there will be some chemical reactions which will be happening in a gasifier so as to produce the bioproducts such as carbon monoxide and hydrogen, which will be basically further transformed into liquid fuels. So let's begin with the topic. So gasification, as I told you, is a thermochemical process that forms the carbonaceous materials such as biomass or the solid waste into usable fuels or chemicals. Basically, carbonaceous material could be your coal as well, could be your solid waste as well. Because in solid waste we have carbon content as well. So we can use our solid waste in this gasification process. So gasification is basically thought of as an incomplete combustion. What is incomplete combustion? Is basically combustion or process of burning where lack of oxygen is there. So we are bound to get products like carbon monoxide, and that is exactly what we will get in the gasification process. So it is burning solid fuels like wood or coal without enough air or complete combustion. So the output gas that is the carbon monoxide will have some combustion potential. So I would like to here now show you a picture of a matchstick. Basically, if you want to see gasification process, you can basically lit a matchstick. We all have once in a lifetime have lit a matchstick in a lifetime, and when we have never noticed that it is the process of gasification. The picture that I have taken is from allpowerlabs.com, and they have very beautifully explained that how gasification process takes place when we burn a matchstick. You can see that here it is the matchstick, and the product of and we have incomplete combustion. So the products that we are bound to get is carbon monoxide, which what we exactly get in the gasification process. So the temperature, as you can see, keeps on changing. The combustion products keeps on changing from oil vapors to gases, from soot, from combustion to tar and soot, and then ultimately the gases. So this is what exactly happens in a gasification process. You can have some idea, though we cannot see this process through the naked eye when we lit a matchstick, but we can surely see it in the gasification process while we consider the biomass. So during biomass gasification, a mixture of gases, I have told you before, mainly carbon monoxide and hydrogen is produced. So what are the proportion of carbon monoxide and hydrogen? Carbon monoxide is present in 18 to 22%, hydrogen 8 to 12%, 8 to 12% is of carbon dioxide, 2 to 4% methane, and around 45% of nitrogen. And the amount and heating value of the product gas are dependent upon raw material, gasifying agents, operating variables, the temperature, design of gasifier, and catalyst that will speed up the reaction. So these are suitability of solid waste or biomass for gasification. Basically, if we have forest biomass such as wood chips, which have a lot of carbon content, so it is very much ideal for gasification process. It is written over there, forest biomass ideal for gasification due to high cellulose and hemicellulose. Basically, in a forest biomass, we have dry leaves or we have wood chips which are good in a carbon content. And similarly, in grass, it is not suitable for gasification because it has very high moisture and low carbon content. And some crops also are very ideal for gasification. Municipal solid waste and sewage at the bottom are suitable for gasification. So we need to have an understanding that if we have some forest, if we have more of forest waste, then we can produce more of gasification. Then the gasification process is more of a success, and we get the desired bioproducts that we are looking for. See, now you can see a diagram of a gasification process. That this is the hopper, and this is how the solid waste is put into the hopper. Then 5 processes takes place. I will tell you later on about this. But then just see the figure and understand that some incomplete combustion takes place over here. Then pyrolysis happens. Pyrolysis is a process which takes place in absence of oxygen. And first of all, drying takes place. Drying, we remove the moisture, and then pyrolysis, and then combustion process. So this is the whole process, and you can see over here at the left biochar collection. So the material that we get is not only the byproduct that we get is not only carbon monoxide and hydrogen. We also get char, we also get methane gas, we also get tar. So these are the byproducts that we also get. Obviously in small quantities, but these are the collection because these are the byproducts. And syngases basically are basically is not a new is might be a new term for you, but syngases is a combination of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. And combining these two terms, we call it as syngases. SNG gases also, that is synthetic natural gases. So process of gasification. So these are the 5 processes that takes place: drying, pyrolysis, cracking, reduction, and combustion. So what happens in this process that is of interest, because this is the process that has already happened in the process of when we lit a matchstick. So this is the same process that happens when in the gasification as well. That is why I have given you example. So in drying process, what we do is we dry off the water so that no water is left around 100 to 150 degrees Celsius, and then moisture and one thing as well, the solid waste should have a moisture content between 20 to 30%. It should not be more than 30% because then lot of energy will be wasted in removing the water. And then pyrolysis. Second step is pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is the application of heat to raw biomass in an absence of air. Basically, it breaks into charcoal and various tar gases. So it is the essential process of charring. What we get in the pyrolysis process, that it breaks down into a combination of liquid and gases, and we get the charcoal. And we get charcoal. The biomass, the gases and liquids that are basically released are collectively called as tar gases, or you can say tar which is used in the roads, construction of roads. So after this, cracking basically is the process of breaking down large complex molecules such as tar into lighter gases. Now we have to break. Cracking means to break something. Now we are breaking tar into lighter gases by exposure to heat. This is essential because we have to make our fuel that we will have in the end, so that it could be combustible with the it could have compatibility with an internal engine, because tar gases condense into sticky tar and that will stuck in the valves of the engine. And it is also, cracking is also necessary to ensure proper combustion, because complete combustion only occurs when combustible gases is thoroughly mixed with oxygen. So we have to eliminate it. In the course of combustion, high temperature decompose the large tar molecules that pass through the combustion zone. So we eliminate, so we somehow try to have complete combustion in the cracking process. Further, in the reduction process, reduction is basically the process of stripping of oxygen atoms of combustion products of hydrocarbon molecules, so as to return the molecules to form that can burn again. Basically, reduction is the reverse process of combustion. In combustion combustion occurs when we have sufficient amount of oxygen, which releases heat and producing water vapor and carbon dioxide. Reduction is the removal of oxygen. So in combustion we will have addition of oxygen to have the byproducts such as carbon dioxide and water, and in reduction we will have removal of oxygen from these waste products at high temperature to produce combustible gases. Combustion and reduction are basically, you can call, equal and opposite reactions. So reduction in the gasifier is accomplished by passing carbon dioxide and water vapor across a bed of red hot charcoal. The carbon in the hot charcoal is highly reactive with the oxygen. It has such a high oxygen affinity that it strips the oxygen of water vapor and carbon dioxide and redistribute it to many single carbon-carbon bonds as possible. The oxygen is more attracted to the bond than on the C, than to on the carbon, than to itself. Thus, no free oxygen can survive. Now there is no free oxygen, and all the available oxygen will be bound to the carbon sites as individual O until all the oxygen is gone. When all the available oxygen is redistributed, reduction basically stops. So this process, COT is you are reducing CO2 or carbon dioxide to produce two CO molecules, which are your carbon monoxide molecules. The next process we move on is the combustion. So combustion is the net, or you can say the exothermic process of all the 5 processes. Of all the heat that drives drying, pyrolysis and reduction comes either directly from combustion or is received indirectly from combustion by heat exchange process in a gasifier. Further combustion can be fueled by either the tar gases or char from pyrolysis. We can also use fuel from these things. Different reactor types use different purpose, different things to generate heat. Such as there are some types of gasifiers also. Gasifier is basically a vessel in which chemical reactions takes place, and that is what gasification is all about. Chemical reactions to produce the combustible gases. Now we move on to the advantages of gasification and mature technology. First of all, yes, biomass gasifier technology is a very mature technology. It is very robust. It can be available in several design and capacities. Small and modular technology is suitable and economical for small applications as well, smaller than a megawatt. And in India, we have around 50 to 60 uh, bio 50 to 60 biomass gasification plants, ranging from 1 kilowatt power capacity to 1.5 million megawatt power capacity. So you can see the future and the future scope of gasification is a lot more. And flexible operation, a gasifier based power system, unlike those of such as, it does not depend on sun and wind. So as to generate electricity, you can use it whenever you want to generate electricity or whenever you want to use it. It is very economically viable also. It is not very costly. For a small scale system, the cost of power generation by biomass gasification technology is reasonable than that of conventional diesel based power generation. And finally, socio-economical benefits, like it could generate employment for local people. And it is also seen that, I told you in the beginning also, that we'll see a comparison. The comparison between incineration and gasification is found out that gasification produces much more cheaper electricity than that of incineration. That is why India has 50 to 60 gasification plants and only 12 incineration plants. Though gasification has some drawbacks as well, but as compared to incineration, it is better because it is generating electricity at a cheaper cost. As far as incineration is concerned, incineration is producing electricity at a very high cost, and gasification also is reducing the solid waste by 75%. So it is almost as same as that of incineration. So we have now discussed gasification process. In the next classes, we will be discussing about different unit, about unit 5, which is the e-waste and hazardous waste. So we will be discussing that. Thank you so much.